More messages. Why don't we get to them? Does Dadonov come out of the lineup and Pezzetta in? I'm glad this question came in because we talked about possible line changes and lineup changes tomorrow. We haven't talked about Michael Pezzetta yet. We know that Michael Pezzetta is the extra forward on this team. And right now, Jonathan Drouin is an extra forward on this team as well. You have to pick your spots when you're going to get them in. They're going to be playing 3 games in 4 nights. They're going to need fresh legs, which Drouin will bring, and they're going to need energy, which Pezzetta will bring. So, yes, I say both of them are in the lineup tomorrow night. The big question is who's coming out. I think Dadonov will come out. But you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I think Slavkovsky's coming out too.
You think he's coming out tomorrow?
Well, he played 9:37, and he's going to play his 3rd game in 4 nights. I mean, who else are they going to take out of the lineup?
I mean, it's the easy name to say there is Rem Pitlick.
Matt,
that's the
perfect.
Hold on. That's the easy name to go with. But I like that you said Slavkovsky because there will be a storm in the media and fans are going to freak out. Oh my God, already game 3 and he's healthy scratch. But it's for all those reasons you outlined. You need fresh legs. You need energy. And you want Slavkovsky to watch a game from a different perspective. You want him watching from up there in the press box, looking down and seeing things that he doesn't see when he's on the ice because like I said off the top, it just seems like he's a step behind, and that's okay. So let's address that and see what he can fix and what he's noticing in a game from a different perspective.
Don't forget this. You remember Kotkaniemi at one point, he hit a wall. It was like the 50-game mark. He couldn't even stand up anymore. He was falling by himself. People were calling him Bambi and this and that. Remember that, right?
Yeah, of course. Bambi legs.
Okay. I know that people have the images of Slavkovsky absolutely obliterating like a bike fitness equipment, I know that people
he
have
broke
that
the
image.
machine.
Which by the way, a shout out to Matrix Home Fitness, of course, and their fitness equipment. But Slavkovsky in many games in preseason looked like he was a little behind on his cardio. They're going to sit him out every now and then so he doesn't hit that wall that Kotkaniemi hit. They're going to do that. I think they sit Slavkovsky and Dadonov tomorrow night for Drouin and Pezzetta, unless somebody's hurt, of course, at the forward position. But those are the players that I think are going to come out.
Yeah, I would agree.
Those are the players that are going to go in.
I would agree. If the ice time is any indicator of that, then sure. But if it's not going to be Slavkovsky, I mean, it's at that point it's got to be Rem Pitlick. It's just he hasn't. I mean, you're not. There's no high expectations there.
Yeah, but no, I know. But Pitlick. Look, he can still develop, but there's another thing with young players is that you remember how many times they did it with Galchenyuk and Kotkaniemi, and they said, and they do it with all other teams, okay? Seattle's going to do it with Shane Wright, and
right.
All other teams are going to do it, right? They make them watch the game from above. Sometimes they make them sit next to a coach and stuff like that. They ask them, what their observations were from watching the game from above and stuff like that. It's part of the process, and it's part of coaching, and it's part of development, and that's the way it's going to go down, and that's the way it's going to happen. So, I think it's going to be him.
And if you're right, which I mean, you're usually right about these things. It's not a bad thing. It's actually, on the contrary, it's a good thing, because then they're putting faith in him rather than just keep throwing him out there. And he's getting 9 minutes a night, and who knows what he's thinking? Maybe that he's not accomplishing anything out there. So he'll watch it from a different perspective, add some things, take a couple notes, and then he'll be fresh and ready to go on Monday night.
I'm Marinaro, and that clip you just watched is from our most recent episode of the Sick Podcast. Once again, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free, and you'll be notified when we go live. I'm Marinaro. Tell your friends about it. This podcast, like me, is pretty sick.